The Leil HaSeder is designed to bring home something that we're meant to remind ourselves of every day. In fact, more than once a day. And that is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is absolute mastery of the world, and that he uses that mastery for our benefit. So absolute mastery and the fact that he's involved on a detailed level and that he's using that for our benefit, those are all take-homes from Yetzias Mitzrayim. And the Rambam, everyone points to the fact that this is the central tenet of our emunah. And we are dedicating the entire week of Pesach to this, which we spend a certain amount of time doing every single day. And we double down where it is the primary focus of the Leil HaSeder. So, excuse me. So you're dealing with the most important idea to be a maimin, the most important idea, and the week that is designated to highlight that most important idea, and the night that is specifically focused on bringing home that idea. So we're always looking to see what it is that we're trying to get out of the Seder and how we can get there. So the first thing that we need to realize is that we live in a world where there is the word because associated with almost anything that goes on in our world, whether it's a political because or it's a scientific because. There is a because slotted in to almost everything in our world. And so we have a very strong pull away from Emunah B'Hashem and Hashgacha Pratis. That's just the pull of our times. That's the pull that we live with. That's the pull in some times. In ancient days, the pull was that the because had to do with different gods. And today, the because has a variety of answers. Why something happened? It's because. We don't like that politician, and we don't like what he did because. And the most central drive in the emunah side of the story is to imagine that there is no other because other than because that's the Ratzon Hashem. Now, there may be something that I need to do. But again, my success in doing something is all because it's a hishtadlus in serving Hashem. There's no outcomes that I could bring about independently. So the first step is to imagine there not being any other because in our minds other than because that's the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu set it up. Now, it could set it up to test me. He could set it up to help me. It could be set up for all of the reasons that HaKadosh Baruch Hu operates in the complex world that he runs. But what we're looking to do is to get rid of any other because. Now, that's a big job. And the reason that's such a big job is because of the world that we live in, and because ultimately, Kilo Yirani Ha'adam V'chai. That means absolute awareness that everything is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is outside of the range of what we're able to do as human beings. So we're always pushing against the limits of our humanity in trying to get to an absolute clarity that there's only one because. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu helped us, even though in theory we could have figured this out the way Avram Avinu figured it out. HaKadosh Baruch Hu helped us by giving us the miracles of Yetzias Mitzrayim to help us see that there's only one because, that any other because is false. It's just an agent by which HaKadosh Baruch Hu operates in the world, but there's no other because, there's no other causality. But we have to recognize that just getting to the place as far as a person is able to go, and every year this is meant to be an upgrade in our mature recognition that we are not in charge, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge, and that He is using us as agents of His will. The next step is, and all of that complex achdus habore, all of that mastery of the world is all being put to use for our benefit. And that's why the Dayenu, for example, starts with Hotzionu Mitzrayim, and as great people have pointed out, it ends with L'chaper al kol avonosenu. That the end of the whole chain of 15 things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did was to make the Beis HaMikdash so that even if we mess up, He's still doing everything l'tovasenu and gave us the Beis HaMikdash to be able to be mechaper. So it's this long string of 15 things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did that the Bal Hagoda chooses to focus on in order for us to recognize that it's all from Him and it is all for our benefit. Now, that idea that it's all for our benefit is not going to stick if we can't say thank you. If we don't know how to sing and to call out and to embrace our relationship with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu in thanks, then it's not going to happen. So you say, well, that's a little hard to do. We're talking about 3,338 years ago. This is not something that is a simple memory jump. And there's another factor, which is that we're really looking forward to singing a new Shira Chadasha, a new song associated with the Geula Ha'asida. So we're saying thank you, but almost anticipating outdoing the thank you. But if you think about it, you'll realize that if you can't say thank you for what He did do, don't expect that you're going to know how to say thank you for what He's going to do. As much as it feels tempting to say, I would definitely sing His praises and sing the thanks and sing a Shira Chadasha when He redeems us finally, but it's really hard for me to do that because of all of the tragedies that happened between Yetzias Mitzrayim and now, and so it's hard for me to celebrate. That's not going to work. It's a very tempting mathematics, but it's not useful, because a person who knows how to say thank you can say a bigger thank you. But a person who is not filled up with the thanks is not going to be able to do that. And you'll notice in the Haggadah a lot of repetition. There's the whole Dayenu, and after the whole Dayenu, Alachas Kama V'Kama, we say over all 15 things to say thank you again. You can't overdo a thank you. It must never be lodged in your mind, I already said thank you. I already said thank you. That comes from a very underdeveloped, childlike part of us, where the parent asked us to say thank you. What do you say? And you say thank you, and now you are done. That is, we're parroting the thank you, but it doesn't work, because if you're actually grateful, then there can never be too much repetition. I almost think that that's why there's this brisa that talks about whether it was 10 makos or 50 makos or 200 makos or 250 makos. Like, what are you doing? Why are you, if you tell me something else that I didn't know that had happened, you tell me something else, so that's qualitatively different. There's something else that I didn't know that had happened. But I know what happened. Why turn it into 250? And the answer is that's what a grateful person does. He's always looking for ways that he can reconnect with an existing old thank you, that he never looked to exempt himself. I said thank you, I acknowledged it. The push to always come up with more. And you know what? Even if the more is just numbers, I mean, that's really all it is. As far as the brisa is concerned, I mean, there's many commentaries that try to analyze how the makos were broken down and their individual parts of the makos. But on the surface of things, it's just more. It's just bigger numbers. You say, well, that's because Hashem said, Kol hamachla shesamti b'Mitzrayim lo asim alecha. So, well, but what did you do by having more? And the answer is, when you have more, it is a more profound thank you. A bigger number gives you a more profound thank you. Don't just say that he gave me 100 shekel. Say that he gave me 1,000. What? But that's the same 100 shekel. No, but when you say that it was 1,000, that's a difference. That's a different feel. So why would you do that? Why can't you leave it as 100? And the answer is because anything that I can do to enhance my sense of gratitude is hareza meshubach. And so the more we tell the story, and the more we review, and the more we analyze, we don't need to come up with new stories. It's sufficient to retell the stories. You ask any veteran, they want to tell the story of the big war, of the big battle, they just want to tell it again, because it brings up all sorts of feelings when they tell it again. We're looking to tell and retell so that we can do both parts of the story. We can increase our clarity that there's only one because in the world. There's only one because in our reality. And we want to increase the sense of warmth and gratitude by repeating and reviewing, and almost to the point of just more numbers, to be able to deepen the sense of gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so that when we come away from the Seder, we have built another layer onto our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yiratzon, that it should be that we should be able to sing the Shira Chadasha for the Geula, that is the Geula HaSida, the Geula that we're all waiting for, the Geula that to a certain extent causes us to feel a little pain when we're thanking for a Geula that's over 3,300 years old, because we know that the Navi tells us that that's going to be completely outshined by the Geula Be'ezer Hashem that is coming B'Karov.